This video is going to save you thousands of dollars down the road and probably a lot of shame from your groomer. I'm going to show you how to line brush your dog in 3 very easy steps. Line brushing is a method where you brush your dog in small sections or lines, and you work from the bottom of the coat upwards. A good rule is that if your dog has more than ½ an inch of hair, you should be line brushing. Now, you don't need a ton of equipment, but you do need the right tools. And if you were to invest in just one thing, it would have to be the slicker brush. This I bought from Amazon. I can link it below, but I've been using it for 5 years and it's great. You also need a greyhound comb. And this is just to check our work at the end and make sure we've actually taken out all of the tangles and knots underneath. And if you want to have a detangling spray, it could be helpful, but this is optional. Now here's the first tip. Do this when your dog is tired. So either after a nice long walk or what I do is when Spike is in the morning, he's still sleepy. I usually brush him then because he's too sleepy to care and complain. He lets me get away with a lot. But if he's lying down on one side, I'll just brush the side that's exposed to me. Avoid using a detangling brush or just a bristle brush because they don't get deep enough to remove those mats. So let's get into it. Step number 1 is the optional detangling spray. So I'm just going to spray him real quick, a few spritz of this before we get started. Step number 2 is to work from your dog's feet upwards to the rest of his body. So I'm going to start on that side where you guys can see and tackle the left paw right here. We want to split the hair so that we can see the exposed skin underneath, and this line is going to be our working area. Use gentle short strokes and brush outwards. So I use my thumb to expose the skin and create that line, and then I use my brush to go in and out, then moving my thumb a little higher to create a new line, and again gently brush until my brush easily runs through the hair. You want the brush to reach the skin without scraping it. The next tip is we want to be methodical. So it's best to work your way up the arms first, and then the body, and then the tail, and then the face, or however you choose to do it, but it's best to work in sections and work from bottom up. Now I hope you can see, but I know Spike's not comfortable with his paw being up, so I'm just going to place it here, and hopefully you can see as I work my way up in quick strokes, but very gentle. And after a couple of brushes, I'm just moving my thumb up. The next tip is sometimes the skin is not saggy, but you do need to stretch it to make sure that it's not hurting your dog. So my thumb also acts to stretch. It's kind of a little tight so that it's stretching his skin and it won't hurt him as much. You'll kind of feel this as you're doing your dog's hair, but you'll know where you need to stretch a little bit more than other areas. Once I get to the elbow, it's really no longer enough for me to use my thumb to stretch. So I will use my entire hand to expose the new line and to also pull on the skin a little bit so that it doesn't hurt him too much. But hopefully you can see a little bit easier now the lines that are being exposed. Also reward along the way. Step number 3 is to use the greyhound metal comb to essentially just check your work. So I will run it through the coat and make sure that there are no tangles left and that it just runs smoothly throughout the entire section. And it does. If it doesn't, then you do have to go back to step 2 and use the slicker brush to detangle some of those knots. Now, in dogs, typically the friction area where the matting most happens is the armpits or these collar areas, like the neck, or if your dog has a harness, then just underneath from one armpit to the other, this area can get matted. And then the tail base is also another part that gets matted easily. So these are the areas you want to check for. The armpits are also very sensitive, so you want to use very, very gentle pressure as you're brushing through that area. And lastly, if the matting has already occurred, then you're past line brushing. You'll have to use scissors or trimmers to take that mat out and shave it out or cut it out. But line brushing is preventative. It is not a solution for existing mats. So how often should you line brush? Well, it really depends on the breed of your dog and the length of their hair. If you have a dog that has curly coat like Doodles, or if you have a dog that has long silky hair, then you want to brush 3 to 4 times a week. But if your dog has a double coat, then you can get away with just brushing them once a week. My last tip is to work smart, not hard. I could spend 15-20 minutes brushing Spike's body in one go, but usually what I do is I brush him maybe 5 minutes a day in sections. So like I said, I'll brush him in the morning, but he's usually lying down on his side, so I only have one side exposed to me. So maybe one day I do his right side, the next day I just do his left side. It takes me like 5 minutes a day. It's easier on my back, and it's also easier on him. Line brushing might take a little bit of extra time, but it prevents painful matting and very expensive grooming bills that will come your way if the groomer has to shave your dog all the way down. Plus, your dog will be more comfortable and your groomer will love you. Now, if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We post twice a week now. See you in our next video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.